This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
Well, the barriers are going up, but they're not there to keep people away from downtown. We'll show you the preparations being made for a major change that is designed to help the city's restaurants rebound from this COVID-19 pandemic. But before we get to that story, I want to thank you for joining us here on the News at Noon. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is social distancing from home this midday. Todd, what can we expect in the forecast as we head into our lunch hour?
You know, Lauren, it's always good when I don't start my weathercast with the radar. So there is some improvement in this forecast. Instead, we have the temperatures, which aren't great for this time of year, but at least we're dry here at this noon hour. 55 in Indy, 57 in Bedford. It's 56 currently in Tipton. A little warmer out west as expected, where the clouds are a little thinner, close to 60 degrees currently in Terre Haute. But here is the view from downtown to the north, and you can see those solid overcast skies in place. And this will continue to be the case throughout much of the day. The skies may try to brighten in spots and the clouds will thin, but I don't think we're ever going to get into any prolonged period of sunshine here throughout the day today. And because of that, our temperatures are not really going to warm a whole lot more. The good news is, as I mentioned, we've gotten pretty much rid of the rainfall. Whatever in Ohio that's trying to make its way back into Indiana is not going to make it here. So it's just essentially cloudy skies this afternoon, a high temperature right around 60 degrees in the city, a little cooler to the east where the clouds are thicker, where they thin just a little bit to the west, Lauren. High temperatures will be in the mid-60s. Despite the 60s today, we do have 70s and even 80s in our extended forecast, and they arrive just in time for the holiday weekend. More on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, the barriers are already going up on streets that will be shut down to help restaurants serve more people outdoors. Today, the Department of Public Works began putting up concrete barriers and signs encouraging social distancing on downtown streets that will be closed. The barriers are to encourage people to walk on the streets and stay off the sidewalks. That way, restaurants will have more room for outdoor dining tables. Marion County is only allowing outdoor dining when restaurant options are officially expanded on Friday.
As soon as we get word whether restaurants are going to want to expand out into the right-of-way, we'll place bike rack that designates their area to satisfy all the regulations. So we're trying to make sure that it's a safe environment for the pedestrians and also a safe environment if the restaurants do so choose to expand into the right-of-way.
There will also be street closures in Broad Ripple on Georgia Street, downtown, and on the southern part of Monument Circle. You can find out exactly where the streets will be closed, as well as more downtown parking options, since we're losing some due to this. That's all on our website, theindychannel.com. The state's COVID-19 numbers continue to steadily grow, even though the state Department of Health says it's not overwhelming hospital systems. Today, Indiana reported another 38 confirmed deaths from the coronavirus. That pushes the state past the 1,700 mark. Indiana has also surpassed 29,000 COVID-19 cases, with another 581 reported today. We'll get another update from Governor Holcomb later this afternoon. You can watch that at 2:30 here today on RTV6, as well as at theindychannel.com. There's a new warning out today from the state health department and from the Federal Trade Commission. Scammers, they're pretending to be contact tracers that alert you if you may have been exposed to COVID-19. Call 6 Investigates has learned that scammers are sending spam text messages to people that contain a link. Clicking the link will download software to your phone and expose your personal information. The state health department says if you get a legitimate text from a contact tracer, there will not be a link inside. It will only let you know that a tracer will be calling you. If you receive a suspicious text message with a link, you should call police. The pandemic caused many companies to continue to provide critical services even if a customer's bill was past due. So we told you about the struggle for 9-year-old Kamani Russell. She's a 3rd grader, unable to connect to her online classroom because her mom had an overdue bill with Spectrum. Spectrum is owned by Charter Communications and told us it could not comment on her case, but that it's helping families through June 30th. Now, despite that statement, they did not help Kamani. The family found other help just a few weeks later, and with the few weeks left in the school year, that is. This girl's mother has a message now for the CEO of Charter Communications.
I find it a bit inhumane the way that they're treating families who are needing this internet access in this time of crisis. You know, we're not asking for them to zero out our balance forever. Everybody has hardships in their life, and when it's a global, crisis, then everybody should come together and work together to help each other.
Well, the situation will be better in the fall for IPS students. The school system is spending $3 million on MiFi units that will provide wireless service for those who can't afford it. The entire country is now relaxing at least some of their coronavirus restrictions. It comes as President Trump defends his use of a drug that's unproven for its effectiveness against COVID-19, and some studies suggest it could have dangerous side effects. ABC's Inez de la Cotera is in Washington now with the latest.
This morning, all 50 states easing some form of COVID-19 social distancing restrictions, with Connecticut the final state to partially reopen.
We can proceed on a very thoughtful basis with those businesses that are least likely to be dangerous, most likely to have a real economic value for the state.
This as the CDC releases its new guidelines meant to help the nation reopen, focusing on schools, restaurants, and public transit. The document's initial release was delayed by the White House over concerns it was too specific. As he continues to push for the nation to get back to business, President Trump's admission he's been taking hydroxychloroquine and zinc for the past week and a half as a preventative measure for COVID-19 still being met with confusion. That's because there is no evidence it can help prevent COVID-19, and the FDA says it can actually cause serious heart rhythm problems.
I happen to be taking it.
Hydroxychloroquine?
I'm taking it, hydroxychloroquine. Right now, yeah.
ABC News affiliate WISN speaking with a woman in Wisconsin who's had lupus for most of her life and has been taking hydroxychloroquine for 19 years to treat it. She says she's still tested positive for COVID-19. Studies are ongoing to find out if the drug has any protective benefits.
How can I be sick? How? I'm on hydroxychloroquine. And they're like, well, nobody's ever said that was the cure.
Last month, the FDA recommended against the use of hydroxychloroquine outside of hospitals and clinical trials. But now the FDA commissioner tells CNBC the decision to take any drug is ultimately between a patient and their doctor. Inez de la Cotera, ABC News, Washington.
Well, he says he wants to get back into politics. Next, we'll show you the latest person to jump into the race for Attorney General and what he had to say about the man who holds that office right now. Todd.
And Lauren, it's a chilly day for us here across the area by mid to late May standards as temperatures are sitting in the 50s. But there is some warmth to our south, and that's just going to build north throughout the holiday weekend. So just in time for Memorial Day, temperatures are back up into the 80s with sunshine as well. We'll talk all about it coming up when the news at noon continues right here on RTV6.
Turns with Moana tonight on ABC.
Welcome back. Former Indiana Congressman Todd Rokita wants to get back into politics. The Republican announcing today that he will become the latest candidate to jump in the race for Attorney General. In his announcement, Rokita described current Attorney General Curtis Hill as, quote, wounded over Hill's suspension from practicing law. That suspension began this week, and it stems from sexual assault allegations made by 4 women, including a state lawmaker. Rokita was not without controversy himself. The AP reported that he was serving as Indiana's Secretary of State when he was accused in 2009 of repeatedly using his state computer to access a list of Republican donors. It prompted the state Republican Party to lock Rokita out of the donor list. Rokita left Congress in 2018 to run for U.S. Senate, but he lost to Mike Braun in the Republican primary. Rokita's entry into the race means that Republicans will have 4 candidates for Attorney General to choose from at their state party convention next month. Curtis Hill is seeking re-election. Also running are Indianapolis Attorney John Westerkamp and Decatur County Prosecutor Nate Harder. Democrats have 2 candidates running for office, State Senator Karen Talion and former Evansville Mayor Jonathan Weinzapfel. The Indiana Democrats will hold their state party convention in June. You may think they seem to be coming out of nowhere, the new small cell towers that help us communicate, but we'll show you why some people are concerned about where they're popping up. We'll be right back.
Indiana Tour.
Welcome back. So there are some new concerns about 5G structures like these coming to neighborhoods. Over the past year, RTV6 has told you about wireless companies installing 5G structures like this one here in Hamilton County. Well, now Call 6 Investigates is uncovering a rollout that's making its way here to Indianapolis. Our Kara Kenny explains what you can do if you're concerned.
People who live here at North Willow Farms at 86 and Ditch Road love living here because of the green landscape and because all utilities are below ground, and they want to keep it that way. Nearly 400 families live in North Willow Farms, a neighborhood full of mature trees. A family saw this public notice in a newspaper saying Verizon wants to build a 47-foot tower in the middle of their neighborhood. The Homeowners Association president did some research and found it's part of Verizon's 5G rollout, and the wireless company wants to install other structures in their neighborhood. He's reached out to Verizon, the city, and state lawmakers to see if North Willow Farms can have a say in where those structures go.
I don't see how that can be a good thing. What's going to happen a few years down the road when 5G is now old technology and something new has come along? These are going to just litter.
We're going to watch them in hopes that they'll cooperate. And if they do, we may not need legislation. If they don't, it's another story.
We reached out to the city, who told us we are in the process of reviewing any pending applications in consultation with our council. And Verizon told us for several years we have been using small cells in cities across the country to add needed network capacity as cellular usage grows. They directed us to their website that says Verizon Wireless has already started to install small cells in central Indiana and will be over the next few years. We reached out to the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, who told us when it comes to wireless providers, they have zero authority when it comes to the placement of transmitters and receivers. Reporting on the Northwest Side, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Kara, thank you. Senate Bill 213 passed the legislature back in 2017 and authorized this massive rollout of small cell wireless structures all over the state. If you'd like to see where a 5G structure is proposed for your neighborhood, you can just go to this story. It's on the RTV6 app. It's also at the IndyChannel.com. We do want to look now at our forecast. We're halfway through the work week. It hasn't been the greatest start to the week, Todd, in terms of the weather. What can we expect going forward?
Yeah, you know, it'll get better. Lauren, we've had these great days here and there. Saturday was really nice, then the rain came in on Sunday. We've been dealing with it ever since, and things will get better as we get closer to this upcoming weekend. That's the good news. But on average, May is the wettest month that we see in Indianapolis for the entire year. Now, it's been a little wetter than normal so far, as we've seen 4.28 inches of rainfall so far in Indianapolis. Some areas have seen even more than that with those thunderstorms the other day. Our average monthly total is 5.05. So obviously we have a bunch of days to get closer to that number, but it's not completely abnormal with the amount of rainfall that we have seen so far here this month. Now, rain chances going forward in the forecast, we are going to have them. Tomorrow there's the chance of a spot shower, and then again on Saturday we'll start to build in the chance of seeing a few thunderstorms. Outside right now we're dealing with mostly cloudy skies as you look from downtown to the north, and temperatures that are sitting in the 50s. So it's cloudy, it's on the cool side. These clouds will thin a little bit in spots going forward throughout the afternoon, but we're never going to completely get rid of them. And as far as the rainfall goes, there are some showers there off to our west. They're trying to build back towards the state, but they're not going to be very successful. This area of low pressure is still spinning away here in Tennessee. Eventually what's going to happen is this low is going to start to make its way off towards the east. As it goes that way, it'll take the rainfall with it and eventually the cloud cover as well. Highs today will only be in the 60s, running probably about 10 to 15 degrees below normal, depending on where you are. It's a little cooler today to the east, where the clouds will be a little thicker throughout the entire day. But as this low starts to move off towards the east, and it's been moving so slow because earlier in the week we had Tropical Storm Arthur along the Carolina coast, and that was blocking everything from moving from west to east across the country. But as that low finally pushes off to the east, warmer temperatures will start to build in as we get get into the latter half of the week. Now, tomorrow's not one of those days. Tomorrow, we're still in the mid-60s. It's a little brighter, especially as the day goes on. That is the good news. Friday, we make the jump up to 75 degrees for the high temperature. As sunshine returns, the 75 is seasonable, and at this point, Friday looks to be a dry day. And then for Memorial Day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, all the way up into the 80s. In fact, Sunday, Monday, and even Tuesday are in the mid-80s for us across the area. With the warmth, though, will come the chance of storms. I think they're pretty spotty in nature, Lauren, on Saturday and Sunday, and then they'll become a little more numerous, it looks like, late Memorial Day. And if I had to pick the wettest day in this 7-day planning forecast, that is going to be Tuesday of next week, as that cold front will eventually return us back to more seasonable temperatures. So a little cool to start, a little warm to end, but the warmth just does build in for the holiday weekend. That's the good news.
All right, Todd, we'll take it. Thank you so much. Well, the COVID-19 pandemic has hit really close to home at North Central High School. The school's beloved athletic director died from that virus back in April. Well, now his family, including the Panther Nation and beyond, is taking steps to make sure that Paul Logan's legacy lives on. RTV6's Brad Brown shows us that includes some local businesses.
Last month, North Central High School athletic director Paul Logan passed away after a bout with COVID-19. That loss was felt well beyond the hallways of NCHS.
For 31 years, for him to dedicate that amount of time to North Central High School, and not just him as an athletic director or whatever role he was holding there, his whole family invested in North Central High School.
Paul's family is carrying on his legacy with the formation of the Paul Logan Foundation. The scholarships created will help the same North Central athletes that Mr. Logan served for 3 decades.
We really want to impact those kids who might not have the financial needs to participate, but pour their heart and soul into it and kind of help them out when needed. It was a great way to honor him, and we're blessed, and my mom says it best, is we're lucky to call him Dad, and so many other people, he was a father figure to them.
On Tuesday, Kolache Factory in Carmel held a Dine to Donate event. Proceeds going to help the new foundation get up and running.
Having the opportunity to partner with Paul and be a parent of our children on the same team was enormous. To learn someone, to have access to conversation with someone that's with that sort of knowledge and the care and the love that he presented within the Washington Township community.
From student athletes to coaches to parents, those who worked with or around Paul will continue to carry on his passion for youth sports.
You had that Panther uniform on. You meant a lot to Paul, what he was trying to help provide as an experience for student athletes, and that's what it's all about. You know, I think that's what makes this area so great is the people.
I think he understood the importance of nurturing kids and nurturing student athletes, whether they're elite or whether they're just people that just wanted to participate. I thought he's a great guy, and he'll be missed big time from my family.
As we were sitting down talking about a week ago, and just the Washington Township community as a whole, it's been unbelievable. And as my mom says it best, is we were blessed to grow up here.
Working for you on the north side, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Brad, thank you. North Central High School will dedicate their proposed new gym in Logan's honor. The money raised by the foundation will help North Central athletes who are unable to pay fees for sports. For more information, you can go to paulloganfoundation.org. We'll be right back after this short break.
Keller and Keller, right now.
Well, the Noblesville High School Band has commissioned this piece of music in honor of the 150th anniversary of Noblesville schools this year. But when the school year was cut short due to the pandemic, they never got to perform March Nobilis publicly. So the 5 Noblesville concert bands, they kept rehearsing at home, and today they released their virtual performance on YouTube. And it looks like those kids practiced hard, Todd, and they did a great job. So congrats on 150 years to Noblesville, and a very cool project there.
Yeah, and they sound terrific. Absolutely. It's amazing to see what people can do with Zoom here these days and all the other different forms of getting your message out there. Outside right now, 62 degrees, cloudy and cool will be your high temperature today with those clouds in place. 66, mostly cloudy tomorrow. Then we warm up on Friday with some sunshine. The 80s return starting this weekend. And then they stick around, Lauren, with some scattered storms both Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. And thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news. Join us back here for the news at 5. Have a great afternoon.